All right, so over the last couple of weeks, we've been having this ongoing debate, one of the stupidest debates I've heard in my entire lifetime, about what to do about this supposed labor shortage that we have going on here in the United States, where it seems like we have still an unemployment crisis, obviously, while at the same time, some businesses are saying, well, we can't find anyone to fill our job positions. And I say that this is a really stupid debate because it's pretty clear which side is correct in this analysis. And it's basically a carrot or stick approach here. So you have the stick side, which is saying, hey, let's slash unemployment benefits. Let's starve people out of their homes to go and accept these low wage jobs that nobody wants. Or you have the carrot approach, which is just saying, hey, maybe some of these businesses should just pay their workers a living wage and raise their wages and benefits, and then people will accept the jobs. And so I think one of these is very obviously the answer. I think the carrot approach to this situation is the better approach. We haven't had living wages in this country for decades, and that's something that obviously needs to be done regardless of the current labor shortage. Obviously, people should be entitled to a living wage. So we have some new data that's coming in to back up the argument that I was just describing. And as pointed out by Kyle Kalinske here, a study from the University of No Shit. All right, so this is actually from my hometown, the AJC, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. So they say the labor shortages end when wages rise, say some local businesses. Wow, this is really miraculous here. So as his 6 restaurants started ramping up for a post-pandemic world, Brian Will was struggling to find employees, so he went with the classic economics response for hard to find things. He paid more. Will raised wages for jobs like dishwasher and hostess from $8 or $10 an hour to $15 an hour, and he bumped up pay for those on his staff already at that level. Quote, we started to get a better quality of applications, he said, and the employees we already had, the ones we gave raises to, they stepped up their game. Wow. What do you know? When you actually value people for the work that they are giving you, maybe they're going to do a better job. Maybe they'll feel like they are more involved in their work. Maybe people will actually come to work for your business. This wasn't the only example that we've seen. I've seen countless reports of this. This was another recent one that we had. This PGH ice cream parlor says or pays $15 an hour, filled all its positions, and didn't raise prices. How it happened? Wow, it's amazing. It's almost as if companies, corporations, large corporations especially, have the ability to raise their wages, and they simply have chosen not to up until this point. Now, the unemployment benefits, okay, which, by the way, 23 states so far have slashed, including my home state of Georgia. The unemployment, if you're going to say that your business cannot compete with unemployment benefits, then what you're saying is you're only paying your workers a starvation wage, because these unemployment benefits are not more than a living wage. So if you want to compete with them, raise your wages to a living wage. It's not a complicated issue, and yet in 23 states, okay, they have cut these unemployment benefits for people, again, in a stick approach here, where they are trying to basically create conditions that are so dire for people that have been getting these measly checks from the government, that create a situation that is so dire for these people that they are forced to go and accept jobs that are shitty jobs with low pay, low benefits, and that's the world that Republicans want to live in. And so it's two completely different approaches here, and one of them, I think, is clearly producing the better results. But this is the situation that we have right now. So listen, I think this story is very obvious from anyone from the outset of this entire discussion. Yes, if you can't compete with unemployment benefits, raise your wages so that you can beat the unemployment benefits. It's not that people don't want to work, but these unemployment benefits that people have been getting have been giving them a little bit of a cushion, and that's a good thing, right? If you have the ability to, when you were previously working a minimum wage job, you're barely making ends meet, you're working month to month, you're working a salary that is barely able to get the food on the table and pay your rent and stuff, then you don't really have the opportunity to sit back and say, hey, maybe I want to explore other educational opportunities or other training opportunities or other jobs or other careers that may be better for me in the long run. Now people have a little bit of that cushion, just a little bit of that cushion, and they're able to reevaluate some of their life decisions and make better ones for themselves again in the long run. And so this is a very clear situation where you have a carrot approach, you have a stick approach. The stick approach is not going to solve any of the underlying problems of us not having living wages in this country. The carrot approach is going to do just that. So it's just another argument in favor of raising the wage to at least $15 an hour. It should already be upwards of $24 an hour right now, if it had kept pace with inflation and productivity since the 1960s. So it should already be upwards of $20 an hour. $15 an hour was the compromise. So listen, if you want people to work for you, raise your goddamn wages. It's not a complicated situation. It doesn't have to involve cutting the unemployment benefits and starving people out of their homes. It's a very simple issue. I think it's ridiculous that Republicans are doing doing this. And yeah, I mean, this is just yet again evidence from the University of No Shitsville that raising your wages actually does solve the supposed labor shortage that we have been experiencing.